Hello and welcome to my Instagram, Stella Jordanidi. So here is where I'm going to be addressing all the lives from now onwards. As you well know, my original page is Train with Stella, which I'm going to leave as my principal page, but all the coaching side and the information I'm going to be providing on this page. So first of all, as the title says, online coaching Q&As. So before proceeding to tackle some of the Q&As that I get from my clients on a weekly check-in, I just wanted to kind of very briefly explain what is online coaching and how it differs from personal training. So first of all, I am a qualified personal trainer. I also am a qualified pre and postnatal coach. I am also a qualified compassionate nutritionist, and several more kind of degrees that I have. I specialize in females' health, which means that I get to work only with females, and that is my area of expertise. Now, when I used to be a personal trainer, I saw a massive gap between what you can offer to the clients with regards to the general health and what you were able to do in that 1 hour that you had with them, or maximum 3 hours that you had with them on a weekly basis. So therefore, I then decided to move on into online coaching, and obviously thanks to COVID, things speed up a little bit sooner than what I thought they were going to be. But just in a nutshell, online coaching not only looks into your schedule of training, not only looks into your overall volume and intensity of training that you will have on a weekly basis, but also looks into your life from a 360-degree point. Meaning that I will be looking into your nutrition, I will be looking into your daily habits such as sleep, stress management, digestion, and many other matters that are extremely important for when it comes to achieving your body composition goals, your performance goal, or any goal that you have in mind with regard to fitness. So what happened with personal training? As much as us personal trainers would have loved to have a better understanding of your life, or a better way of educating you on the different matters that are important for when it comes to achieving your body composition goals or your fitness goals in general, it is extremely hard to do so, because you need to understand that a personal trainer has to have X amount of sessions in a day in order to be able to hit their targets, in order for them to be able to pay the rent that they're working on, for them to live, to have something to eat. And so therefore it means that you end up having a lot of clients back to back, and the only time that you actually get to spend with that client is that hour training that they get with you, meaning that you either are with them, the good personal trainers are with them coaching in terms of technique, making sure that they are counting the reps, making sure that they are counting the tempo, making sure that the session goes smooth, and making sure they adapt the exercises for the intensity of the person. But then from there, looking forward is really hard. As much as we give guidelines, as much as we give PDF, it's really hard to actually dig deeper into how does the person life look like, and what are the low-hanging fruits into their daily habits that we need to change in order to improve overall health. So this is why online coaching becomes really, really handy, because online coaching, as we are not physically with you there doing the workouts, because it's not also online coaching is also not Zoom classes. I'm not physically doing the classes for my clients online. I have an application, and through that application, I manage everything. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, just some technical issues. So then, right now that I'm not actually spending physical and time with the clients, I'm not longer changing time with the client like physically, which allows me to actually dig deeper into what I said before. How does the client life look like, and what are the first things that we need to start changing in order to implement healthy habits without completely changing the client's lifestyle from the get-go, okay? And this is something that is really, really important, because one of the things that I get to see day in and day out when it comes to someone wanting to kind of adjust or acquire a fitness lifestyle is that they just get overwhelmed with all the things that they need to change at the starting point. So obviously this depends on how long you have been working on your fitness journey, and it also depends, as I said before, on your starting point. But for many people, starting a fitness journey implies a lot of habits that you will need to implement in a period of time. And I don't know if you have read the Atomic Habits, but in this book if you haven't read it, go again and read it, especially if you're looking to implement some changes on your daily habits, because basically in this book it talks about habit stacking. All right, and so habit stacking means that in order for you to make some changes on your life, you need to kind of hold on to the very established habits that you have. So for example, if you wake up in the morning and every day in the morning at the same time you go to the toilet and you brush your hair, let's say, or brush your teeth, then what we like to do at that time in the morning is maybe start adding stuff such as drink a glass of water with some lemon and Himalayan salt, which, as we know and as you have seen in my stories and on my daily habits, this is the best way to start the day in order to make sure that we replenish the water that we lose at night on the sleep. The lemon will make sure that our digestive tract is ready for any food that is going to be taken on the day, and the Himalayan salt is just salt minerals that you will just add, which will aid the hydration problem or process, I will say. Because not only is important to drink some water, but also is important to make sure that we have enough salt minerals, especially when doing exercising. And this is where the low sodium diets for some people are actually not that important. Not the additional sodium, but we still need some sort of sodium, magnesium, potassium, all of this in general. But anyway, this is the concept going back into the habit stacking. So once you have established, let's say, waking up, going to the toilet, brushing your hair, then straight away you will get used to drinking the lemon glass of water. And week by week, we will be implementing changes. And the idea of all of this is just to make the transition between your old habits and your new habits as smooth as possible, okay? Because I don't know if you have been there before, whenever you have, for example, set up your resolutions of New Year, or anytime you set up a resolution, and then when it comes to actually applying those resolutions that you decided you were going to implement, it just becomes really overwhelming. And then it might be that you can't because you're very strong, you have a lot of willpower, so you can implement it for a week, maximum 2, let's say a month. But then after a month, you just find yourself going back into the whole habits, just because it was either too drastic, it was either too different to what your life used to look like, or it was just too restrictive. So all of these cases are the ones that actually lead people to give up on their fitness purposes, on any purposes that they have. But in this case, I'm just going to talk about fitness and wellness in general. And so as coaches, we are here in order to make sure, first of all, that the implementation of knowledge, because one thing is having the knowledge about energy balance, exercise, how to implement, how to perform a movement, how many steps you should do in a day, how many calories you should do in a day, what to do for burning fat in terms of exercising. One thing is having the knowledge. Nowadays, everyone has access to the knowledge. We have the internet, and I'm pointing like that because my computer is just in front of me. And anything that you would like to know, in fact, I actually suggest to my clients, anytime you're going to do a question, please make sure you do some research online. Not because that is a stupid question, but also because that gets you into the habit of doing some research before you actually come to ask a question. The most common question: what are high protein foods, or what are proteins? Okay, you go to internet, you Google that, and literally the list is endless. So it would be better for you to actually go to internet and find out all the different sources of proteins if you are just familiar with what is a protein, what is carbs, what is fats, than me just here naming out of my head what the protein sources are. So those are the things that I say. First, do a little bit of research. If you still have the question after doing the research, of course, that's what I'm here for you. Or if you have done the research and you have some questions, this is even better, then come to me, because also internet can be very misleading. So again, we live in an area that information has just kind of literally taken over. And so there is a lot of misconceptions, myths, and things that I used to think when I started my fitness journey 20 years ago. And so based on my experience and based on the mistakes that I did myself, and now on top of that, based on the qualifications that I have had, is my mission to, or is my job, and is what I like doing, making sure that I express all my knowledge to my clients, so then if they can avoid so many years of mistakes that I made myself, that is the purpose of that. Okay, so first of all, online coaching is to make sure that we have the application, so the implementation of the knowledge that some of you might have, or if you start from zero, it will be then providing you with knowledge, which is, this is the best starting point, because when you have like a white paper, it's only easy just to start implementing and giving information. But even then, if you have a coach and the coach tells you something, I will always encourage you to have some, like, if something is not quite right for you, then have some kind of like self drive to question more. Like, always question your coach. I always say to my clients, just question as much as you want about my processes, about my advices and everything, because you also cannot go blind. There are other coaches that generally don't care, or there are other coaches that unfortunately haven't had the time or the interest to educate themselves, so you cannot also go blind into what people say to you. And this is something that I apply myself to anything I do in my life. Okay, so the implementation of knowledge. Second of all, we will do a study of your lifestyle and start making strategic changes that will not be too overwhelming for you, so your life doesn't change from one day to another through 360 degrees, especially because nowadays everyone is busy at work. Nowadays stress levels are to the roof, so we need to make the process as smooth as possible. And so in a matter of 6 months, that's why realistic expectations of actually changing your lifestyle and acquiring new habits will be anything from 3 to 6 months onwards, and for some people even longer, depending again of your starting point. Then accountability, which is the key. You can try to do it on your own. Many are able to do it on their own, but it's totally different when you have someone that you are reporting to. It's totally different when you have someone that you can share your concerns, such as, for example, why do I feel heavier on when my period is around? Why do I feel so bad about myself when my period is around? And all those things that we females get to deal with. So the coach is able to look with an external pair of eyes, and from the knowledge standpoint, what is going on with you, explain in your head what your thought processes are, and just get you back in track, which you wouldn't do by yourself, because I am also a coach that needs a coach. I'm always getting coaches myself, precisely because of the same thing, because I get to look at so many people, and because I am so picky with my training and I am so strict with everything I do, that I need actually someone that is next to me telling me, it's okay, Estela, it's just a matter of a few days and you will be feeling better. So we all need someone to rely on. And the best thing, I believe, in this case, will be actually someone that is gonna take you through a journey for a period of time. I always set expectations. I actually don't work with anyone less than 6 months, because of the processes that I apply, and also because I like to set realistic expectations as to what is your starting point, where can we get in 6 months, but at the same time life gets in the way. And as I say, stress sometimes is one of the biggest reasons for people to stall into their progress. And if you don't have the guidance, or if you don't have the knowledge of how to manage your stress and how to accommodate your training volume, your nutrition, and maybe applying some forced rest in order to be able to manage your stress, you will be just spinning on your own wheels. So this and much more is what happens on online coaching for literally a portion of the price that you will pay to a personal trainer. And this is what makes me and actually fills my cup totally. I always felt as a personal trainer that I was just a cheerleader, counting the reps and just correcting forms. And to be honest, that is only as many times as you can teach a squat without getting frustrated, at least as a person, because I wanted to make a bigger impact in people's life. And luckily, I have now been an online coach for 3 years, personal trainer in general for 5 years, but in the fitness industry, literally since I was born. And so during these last 3 years is where I have had the max, the top of my growth in terms of knowledge, in terms of achieving results with clients, and in terms of changing life. As I keep saying, I love changing lives, and I do it all with the best support ever. So based on that line, I will be doing a post about what online coaching is. I think there is a lot of confusion in the industry between personal training and online coaching. People don't quite get it right there yet, and people still believe that it's a lot better to have someone with them 3 hours a week maximum, because the most someone can afford is 3 to 5 hours with a personal trainer, than actually having someone that is literally looking at your schedule every day, week by week, month by month. Okay, and now, if you're someone who really does not get your head around training alone, and you need that cheerleader that is going to be there counting the reps, I also have some clients that sometimes they'll also like to hire personal trainers around the area just to make sure that they get the session that I plan for them done on an efficient manner, because they might be able to afford a little bit more cost in their fitness. So that is also fair. You can also, if the online coaching that you have is not local to your area, you can also maybe hire a personal trainer just to make sure that you get that cheerleader that is helping you, but just bearing in mind that you will get just a fraction of what you can get from online coaching. Now, within the online coaching that I do, we normally have a weekly check-in. On this weekly check-in, all my ladies get to report what is their mood, the weight, the waist circumferences, sleep, nutrition, stress, any questions that they might have, and anything that is been concerning them. And sometimes I have also ladies who are very busy, or most of my ladies are very busy, and I have ladies who travel a lot, so it will be my job to accommodate their training depending on what is going on their life. And so from these weekly check-ins, I get a lot of questions that keep popping up over and over. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to create a format in which I can get through those questions and also help you 347 people that is following this account. Thank you very much. And I hope that this can be useful. So I also am very conscious that we need to keep this short, because I know people's attention span nowadays is short, as we have information coming from everywhere. And so the main questions that I wanted to target today really was just that. What is online coaching? How it differs from personal training? Who is it for? And how can you benefit from it? So as I just explained before, an online coach will give you a lot better understanding of your life. It will help, how your life looks like. How can you then juggle your fitness goals within your life? So something that I say to everyone is that I will do my best to make sure that my methods are fitting into your lifestyle and not the opposite. So if you're someone who is, for example, a nurse, one of my clients is a nurse, she gets to stand on her feet for very long hours. She barely has any time to eat, like literally when we started, no time to eat. And so she used to spend, and the working hours were like anything from 12 hours to 12 hours, operation after operation, operation after operation. So what we have done with her is basically understanding, okay, how is this affecting your health? For example, she was suffering from IBS, something that is very common, which is the irritable bowel system. The main driver of irritable bowel system is a combination of stress, a combination of, stress caused by physical stress and caused by mental stress. Obviously, the demand of the job in which you have to be totally focused, high stress because the operations, I imagine that is a very stressful environment. And on top of that, you don't get to feed your body for 10 hours in which you are actually standing on your feet. And on top of that, daily stressors such as, for example, having to move away in London. London have a very, very harsh weather, which is also stressful for the body. So what we have done with her is actually analyze how bad it was for her not to eat as much during the days that she was on surgery, and so the days after she was also feeling so depleted and so fatigued that it was very hard for her to actually get to do the workouts. Not only was it hard for her to get to do the workouts, but also we were not getting the best out of her workouts, just because it was only normal if you didn't eat anything the day before, if you came back home with the stomach totally bloated because of the stress that you had that day. Then the food that you were having at night was not absorbed properly by your body because of the same conditions at which your body was. It was only normal that the day after you were not gonna be in the best of the energies or even the best of the aptitudes for you to get to do a workout. So what we started with her, for example, was starting implementing very short workouts more often on the week. But more than anything, my coaching strategy was all about explaining her the importance of feeding the body, finding a way of getting some calories in, whether that was liquid calories, whether that was that we needed to talk with the bosses and say, you know what, I need 2 breaks of 15 minutes, I need to eat this food, it's for my health. And it's kind of encouraging people to start setting up boundaries with the workplaces. I mean, I know that anyone can ask, I mean, not always, but with her, for example, we managed to agree that she's now into a position after a year in which she actually had the courage to talk with her bosses and say, you know what, I need to slot to 15 minutes because I need to eat, this is affecting my health. And since we have done so, the IBS issues have massively improved. They haven't disappeared because IBS is something that it just doesn't disappear. It gets triggered by the stress. But including more food during those long days of work has definitely improved the way she was feeling about that problem, which then gets reflected into her having more energies on the days that she was actually needing to do the workouts. And then overall, we're just working on improving her health and her quality of life while still maintaining a very hectic work schedule. So this is the point. The point is that when you go to a personal trainer, he has no idea of what happens to you on that day. He has no idea how much stress you had on that day. He has no idea how much you slept on that day. He has no idea of anything that has happened to you on the day. If the most, very likely he will ask you, how is your day? If not, he will just get you straight away go into a treadmill, warm up 10 minutes, and I will be back with you when I'm finished with my previous client. And then boom, I start with the session, which for most of the people, because of all conceptions of how a session should be, most of the people believe that in order for you to get a good workout, you need to leave the gym almost crawling. And that's when people say, oh my God, I just finished my session, I feel so good, I can barely walk. No, that should not be an indication of a good workout, especially if you are someone who works and lives on a high stress environment. But because the personal trainer wants to make you understand that your money is being worth spent, they will make you feel that way, and so you will feel the gym high on endorphins, feeling that was the best workout of the day, that was the best way to spend your money. And at the end, actually, months and months, sometimes years, that I have had the experience with some clients that are with personal trainers for years, and actually their body composition didn't change. They just feel more frustrated because they start taking it personal. They start believing that the reason why they're not changing is either because their metabolism is slow, so then the personal trainer gets them into a juice diet. And by the way, I never did any of these practices, and in fact, my workouts at the very beginning, I actually made the mistake to use some Metcons at the end of my workouts just to get the clients sweating, when I still didn't understand much the balance between high stress and high stress in terms of training. And I have the clients that are still with me, and I said to them, I'm sorry for what I did when I didn't know, but this definitely wasn't working to your body. So, but again, I'm not judging the personal trainers, because you have to understand the personal training job is a very hard job. I mean, very hard job, like physically hard. When you get home after a whole day of working, the last thing you want to do is study. I mean, you have to be very driven, like myself, in order to get home and study. And also you have the pressure that you need to do X amount of sessions on a day, as I mentioned before, in order for you to actually make a living. So I'm not judging the personal trainers. I'm just saying what the job is like after having the experience of doing that job myself, and after breaking down my own health because of how heavy physically the job was for me, and then understanding how pointless truly is to just hire a personal trainer. And I'm not here to dishand or to destroy personal training. I'm just saying that if you are ever considering online coaching and you still like that cheerleader next to you, there is opportunities in which you can actually manage to have an online coach. And more than looking at that online coach as the person who will only provide you with the program, ideally, I want my clients to do my program, because then I know how much intensity they have in, and then I judge everything else based on that intensity that I'm providing them. But if some of my clients, for example, say, you know what, I love boxing, I would love to do boxing once a week, I am the one that actually gets the coach for them and say, okay, do your boxing, let me know how much was your intensity on that hour training, so then I can fix everything else for you, so we're not just shooting too high to the stars. So I feel that you can now get a kind of an idea of what online coaching is the best job I have ever had, and I have had a lot of jobs. Why is the best job? Because I am a nerd. I love studying. I love understanding how to change people's health, how people react to different stimulus, how just implementing things such as, for example, go to bed slightly early, just wake up 15 minutes early, go for a walk. Excuses, doing your workout. Okay, there are 168 hours in a week. I had this conversation with a client this week that kept on just doing 20 minutes workout when the workout was set for 45 minutes. And I say, okay, I understand you're busy, but you need to understand that we have 168 hours on the week, and I'm asking you for you to do 3 sets of 40 minutes workout, which is 2 hours. So it's basically you have 166 hours left on your day to sleep, to socialize, to work, and to do anything else. So it's kind of like understanding how you could use the carrot or the stick, depending on what you keep seeing that occurs on people's life. There are also the clients who want always to do more. Oh, I have done these workouts. What is next? No, slow down. When I was swimming, I had a coach that said, not because you wake up earlier, the sun is gonna get up earlier. You wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. If you are in Colombia like I am right now, the sun is not gonna rise until 6 a.m. So not because you wanna do all in 1 month, it means that you're gonna get progress faster, because actually you end up doing the opposite. You end up just burning out yourself, wanting to quit everything at the end, and back into the starting point in which you feel that you're not good enough, that you will never achieve your fitness goals just because maybe fitness is not for you, maybe because your metabolism is broken, maybe because you're not doing the keto diet. Oh no, after the keto diet actually I needed to fast. Oh, no, fasting keto diet didn't work either, so maybe I just need to do the DNA diet and any other things that we get every day on social media. So anyway, this went a little bit longer than what I expected. I can talk about this hours and hours and hours, but for the moment, I actually don't know where is the time in here. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm actually gonna post this. I'm actually gonna get into the Q's and A's. I'm gonna show up in this profile more often around this time. It's now 3 o'clock in Colombia, where I am at the moment. And around 8, 9 in Europe. We'll try to show up a little bit earlier. I hope this was useful. If you know of someone that needs online coaching because he's frustrated, that has a personal trainer for many years and is not getting anywhere, no, don't send them over, but just maybe introduce to the idea of online coaching. There is a lot of online coaches at the moment. I do know a lot of online coaches in the industry. And so you can apply to the intake form that I have on my bio if you want a free consultation to see, okay, where are you at and what can we do together. Or I have sometimes consultations that get to me and I say, okay, maybe I'm not the right person to work with you because that's not my area of expertise, but I do know a lot of people in the industry that I can refer you to, and I always go to the extra mile to make sure that if you come to me for a consultation, I will leave you in the best hands. So I hope this was clear again. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next Q&As. Bye-bye. Just gonna say hi to all of you that stayed the whole time. Thank you very much, and ciao.